One of the wine world's most well-known grape varieties, Chardonnay enjoyed a huge burst in popularity, particularly in the last 2 decades of the 20th century, and the number of hectares planted globally grew enormously. It's true, its popularity has waned a bit in recent years as fashions have changed and a new renewed interest in lesser-known native varieties and consumers clamouring for ABC or anything but Chardonnay. Even so, Chardonnay remains one of the world's most planted white wine grapes, with more than 200,000 hectares of Chardonnay vines planted globally. It's popular with growers in both the old and the new worlds, with 50,000 hectares planted in France, for example, 43,000 in the US, and over 21,000 hectares in Australia. One of the things about Chardonnay that winemakers and wine consumers have always loved is its versatility. People sometimes talk about Chardonnay as a blank canvas. By that they mean it's very chameleonic, an adaptable variety that can soak up the influence of the climate where it's planted or the techniques of the winemaker, like few other grape varieties. That's why you can find it planted in so many wine-producing countries around the world, over 41 of them at the last count, and with a range of styles that varies from place to place. So, as the white grape of choice in Burgundy in France, for example, it can give us a range of wines, from the steely minerality of unoaked Chablis in the cooler north, for example, down through the nutty and intense whites of the Côte de Beaune, and then on further south to the more complex, riper styles of the Massonnet. Then, in the New World, it tends to be more opulent and exotic in countries like Australia and New Zealand or California in the US. Chardonnay is what's termed a non-aromatic variety, which means it combines very well with oak, whether old or new, French or American. It absorbs some of the flavours of the wood, which helps it get richer style wines with hazelnut and buttery flavours. It's also one of the key grapes used in champagne, and in Spain you can sometimes find it blended in cava or even on its own in other sparkling wines. Chardonnay is an early ripening grape with moderate acidity and alcohol, which adapts well to different climates. In terms of flavour, in cooler climates, depending on how it's made, it's usually associated with melon, apple or grapefruit flavours, while the warmer you get, it can take on more tropical fruit notes of peach perhaps, or mango, pineapple or lime. Barrel aging Chardonnay helps to emphasise the buttery notes in the wine and tends to bring out more intense fruit flavours like orange peel or apricot. Sometimes winemakers will also stir the lees, or the dead yeast cells, during the aging process, and this helps enhance the texture and brings out nuttier notes in the wine. Thanks to its adaptability, in Spain you can find Chardonnay planted in various regions like Catalunya, Navarra, Valencia or Andalusia. Alongside Biura or Macabeo and Malvasia, it's one of the grapes that goes into the Solarce Blanco white wine from the Casa Larrat winery in Rioja. Solarce Blanco is made from estate-grown grapes, which are selected and picked by hand, and then fermented and part-aged for 6 months in 500-litre French and American oak barrels. Solarce Blanco is an attractive straw yellow in colour with some subtle green hues, and an elegant nose which has a touch of minerality coupled with white flowers and white fruit like pears, thanks to its aging on its fine lees. On the palate, it's a very fresh wine with great body, well-balanced acidity and a long finish. Try Solarce Blanco with grilled white fish or shellfish, white meats like chicken or sushi, or pasta or rice dishes. Thanks for watching.